Another Rooster Teeth video. Imagine that. There's been so much Rooster Teeth news in 2019, and the fanatics are still trying to blame this all on Gray. There are so many different issues with Rooster Teeth, and you see the fanatics blaming it all on Gray or saying things like it's been a bad month. They're in so much denial, it's baffling to me. To say that it's been a bad month for Rooster Teeth and be, completely blindsided by the fact that the whole year has been bad, more or less, it's so ridiculous. And you have certain content creators that prop Rooster Teeth up and make content only about Rooster Teeth shows, trying to save face by lying to the public about the issues at Rooster Teeth, again, pinning it all on Gray. It's unfair. Gray has made many mistakes, in my opinion. Certainly some very big mistakes too, but to blame him solely is absurd. And again, the worst of it is, in my opinion, how they literally lie to their community to try to spin a narrative and save face. Because if Rooster Teeth doesn't succeed, they won't have content or whatever. I don't know. Anyways, that's not what we're making a video about today. We're making a video about this post here that Matt has made talking about changes in Rooster Teeth. More changes in Rooster Teeth. I mean, we've had layoffs now that have occurred behind the scenes a number of months ago. Publicly, now 13%. More recently, I've been laid off. You have Ezra Cooperstein, president, who has stepped down. Gray Haddock, who's no longer with the company. And a number of other prominent people that have also left. So, yeah, let's take a look at what this news is all about. And of course, by the way, you probably noticed that my webcam is not up there. It's because I made a huge mistake. Huge mistake. I was trying to take care of my facial hair, and it didn't go so well. Just be lucky that you don't see what I have to see when I look in the mirror right now. Anyways, moving on. The post reads, we made an announcement today. We also put out a video about some exciting promotions and changes in the Rooster Teeth leadership team. Promotions, huh? Okay, let's talk about that. Let's continue on, and we'll talk about that. Changes that I think will set up for a future full of amazing new opportunities. I wanted to take a minute to tell you about my new role in particular. Effective today, I'm changing my title and responsibilities from CEO, from Chief Executive Officer, to CCO, Chief Content Officer. In this newly created position, I will be putting the majority of my efforts into growing the newly launched Rooster Teeth Studios, and I will leave behind most of the managerial, operational, and executive duties that I have taken on for the company for the last 7.5 years. It's a big moment for me personally, as you can probably imagine, and I'm excited about this opportunity. Getting back to the content and creative is something many of you know I've been wanting to do for a long time. And finally now, with so many possibilities opening up to us through Warner Media, and with some key new hirings and promotions in place, it feels like the time is right. This feels like a giant spin to me. While CCO is not a bad role, Chief Content Officer, it's not the same as being a CEO. As he discusses here, he's leaving behind the managerial roles to be more of a creative role. In my opinion, this is a blatant step down. This is an embarrassing look. This is not a good look for Matt. And again, as I've mentioned, the fanatics are trying to pin this all on Gray. Clearly, Gray's not the sole one responsible here. Matt seems like he's being forced to change. He says, I am changing my title and responsibilities, but, I don't think he'd willingly want to go down from CEO unless there was some stuff going on behind the scenes. I mean, sometimes you want to step down from a role like that when you're getting older and more towards retirement, but you don't want to retire yet, so you have less duties in a role that's not as serious, for example, as CEO. But that, Matt's still a young dude. He's got a ways to go before he's looking at retirement, I would assume. So I don't think that's the case. To reiterate, I think this is a bad look for Matt. Moving on. He says, I want to thank our staff for the incredible privilege you've afforded me to lead this amazing company, especially during such a remarkable period of our history. It's never been easy, but you all made it a lot easier than I deserved with your passion, dedication, humor, and hard work. Together, we have grown this company by more than tenfold in practically every measure from when I started as CEO. We've produced thousands of hours of programming, moved RTX from an open field to downtown Austin, and hosted 8 more events there and 5 overseas, along with numerous tours and specials. We've navigated through an acquisition and too many corporate reorganizations to count. Again, I'm sorry, man, but really? Is that a way to downplay the reorganizations that are going now? Oh, we've had so many that have already occurred. This is just another one. He's not necessarily saying that, but I can't help but get that vibe. Moving on, he says, expanded our partnerships with Netflix to Scholastic to DC to HBO, Max, and more. Taking our content from the internet to television and movie theaters around the globe. Launched RWBY and turned it into a legitimate worldwide phenomenon. Built an incredible community membership experience. Sure. Grown our audience across multiple platforms. Sold millions of t-shirts and consumer products. and raised millions upon millions of dollars for kids in need with Extra Life. That's good, at least. And yes, we've had our share of setbacks and failures along the way, but that's never stopped us. We learn from our mistakes, we grow, we keep moving forward. Through all of it, I'm indebted to each of you and honored to have had your trust and friendship along the way. In particular, I want to thank Burnie, Gus, Jeff, Yvonne, Glenn, Lainey, Tommy, Tom, David, Andy at Otter Media, and of course, I wouldn't be able to function if it weren't for Steph. I owe all my good decisions to Anna. She's helped me figure out the right thing to do in every difficult moment, including this one. And I owe thanks to my kids for ridiculing me for my bad ideas before I had a chance to release them on the internet and get ridiculed by a lot of people. I'm glad that the previous CEO of Rooster Teeth was seeking advice on corporate decisions from his children instead of, I don't know, the board of directors or something. That's an interesting choice, but okay. Good job, kids. Good job. He writes, let's see here. That's a job they really seem to love. And moving on, he says, I have been very fortunate to have an incredible predecessor to learn from and follow. When I took over the role of CEO from Burnie, he said he was proud to have taken the company from 4 people to 40, but maybe he wasn't the right person to take it to 400. I appreciate not only his faith in me to be that person, but also the grace and confidence it takes to volunteer for a change like that. And now, as we've reached the next plateau in this journey, it's time for me to show the same courage in introducing the next executive leader for the company, our new general manager, Jordan Levin. Guess I'll be looking into that guy a little bit. He says some things about Jordan here, though. Jordan has been a friend for several years, and I've always valued his wisdom and thoughtfulness as a creative executive. As someone who has run both a digital entertainment network, Awesomeness TV, as well as a traditional TV network, DWB, he's really uniquely suited for this position. He's from Austin and has been in a big part of the media community here as well in Los Angeles. I think you'll find him to be a great collaborator and someone who excels at perhaps the most important part of his job, listening to the people that work for you. In short, we lucked out landing him big time. With Jeff in his new and much-deserved role as executive creative director, looking over all of our direct content, and Burnie returning to his passion of creating original productions, I'm excited to be able to collaborate with them and Gus again like we did in the old days. Time for us to get back to our roots and renew the creative energy that launched this company in the first place. I would personally love to see that. Highly doubt that they will do that, though. I'm sorry. I'm just, these companies don't have my good graces anymore. You tell us things and tell us things and tell us things, but the actions are way different than the words. You give us these hollow words and the actions paint out an entirely different picture. So excuse me for being skeptical of these same hollow words, in my opinion. That's what they are. Hollow words. He says, finally, I want to thank you he says, finally, I want to thank you to the beating heart of Rooster Teeth, and that is our steadfast community. Through good times and bad, you have supported us for almost 17 years now, and I consider my hard work as our leader to have been in service of what we have built and maintained together. Really, you're going to say that you really appreciate the community when you never even acknowledge the numerous complaints about the price increase, never even acknowledged it. Okay, if I'm wrong about that, I'm wrong about it. Call me out in the comments. I've been looking at this pretty much on a daily basis, and I've yet to see any of them acknowledge the backlash in a respectful manner. So maybe I'm wrong about that, but I don't think I am from what I've seen. But there you go. He finishes off by writing, as CEO, I hope that I have brought you some measure of the same joy that is given to me. And as Chief Content Officer, I look forward to finding new moments, new stories, and new dreams for us all to share. Some more information about Awesomeness TV. Awesomeness TV is an American media and entertainment company located in Los Angeles, California. Currently, it is owned and operated by Viacom Digital Studios, a division of Viacom. Founded by Brian Robbins and Joe Davola, Awesomeness TV started as a YouTube channel and multi-channel network. Targeting teenagers and preteens, Awesomeness TV creates original web series, television shows, and theatrical films across all platforms. The company operates a talent division, brand and entertainment division, consumer products division, publishing division, music division, and global network of affiliate YouTube channels. Compare that to Matt's record. Matt Holm is an American director, producer, writer, actor, and visual effects supervisor living in Austin, Texas. He's one of 5 co-founders and the current CEO of production company Rooster Teeth. That will need to be changed, which specializes in online content, including live action series, podcast, animation, machinima, and art using game engines to create films. And of course, there's also a statement from the previous CCO, Chief Creative Officer, Burnie. Says, after spending time with my newly expanded family and reflecting on the path of my career, I have decided to step down as the Chief Creative Officer at Rooster Teeth and the day-to-day productions of the company tomorrow. Yeah, you've decided to step down just like Matt decided to step down from CEO. You've both decided to. You know, man, this is, again, a lack of transparency in my opinion. I mean, just be honest. If I mean, sure, your ego will be hurt to say, I wasn't suitable for this position, but I think you would gain the favor of your community. You've been, okay, I don't want to say you. Rooster Teeth, a number of people from Rooster Teeth have been lying to the face of the community for a while, and that doesn't look like it's changing. We have people restructuring now, I'm hoping for the best, but the same attitude, man, the same attitude. But then again, this is coming from the people who are being, in my opinion, forced to step down. I don't know if that's the case. I'm not saying that's factual. Maybe they really did get to choose. I doubt it. It was probably, listen, we're going to give you the choice to step down willingly, or we can force you to step down. Which would you rather have in the news? Would you rather have the, I willingly step down, or would you rather we do it our way, or the hard way? You know what I mean? Clearly, they'd want to do it this way, the easier way, where they can save their reputation somewhat. Anyways, enough ranting. He says, tomorrow I transition into a producer role in the newly formed Rooster Teeth Studios division, reporting to Ryan Hall. Yeah, wonderful. They're making this new studio division. Apparently, the other post also alleged to that. Man, they lay off 13%, make a new division. What's going on with this company? Continuing on, building Rooster Teeth from a small startup in a spare bedroom to the media empire it is today has been the proudest accomplishment of my career. We have truly built a company unlike any other, and I want to thank every person who has helped me make that journey possible. Now I plan to focus on the passionate reason I began the company all those years ago, to work on my own projects, telling captivating stories to the world. As I move behind the scenes, I will miss appearing in the daily productions, and I want to thank all the castmates and crew who have been a part of these projects. I hope you will join us for my last regular podcast this Monday, September 30th. At this point, we've had a number of upper management at Rooster Teeth switch around. All kinds of backlash, all kinds of things are going on, man. And the fanatics will still tell you, this is all Gray's fault. It's only Gray. He's the only one who's responsible for any problems at Rooster Teeth, man. Such a sham. So we really don't need to look into this too much to see that the new CEO does have a bit more of a background in this sort of thing compared to Matt. Now, that said, Rooster Teeth has had a bad year in 2019, and I think that they've been taking a bad direction for longer than that. I don't want to give a time frame, but longer than that, they've been going down a bad direction in my humble opinion. So I don't want to sit here and say like Matt did a bad job the entire time, but certainly it seems like he wasn't doing a great job in the latter part of what's occurred here throughout, well, I shouldn't say latter part, let me rephrase, throughout 2019, 2018, maybe 2017. Again, I don't want to get into specifics with the time frame. The point is, Matt did see success with Rooster Teeth for a number of years. It's just the more recent years that things have been going downhill, it looks like. Maybe as the company has been acquired and has to be involved with larger companies and go a more corporate route, Matt just wasn't suitable, so this could be a good change. We'll see. I would still much rather see Rooster Teeth restructure, kind of like what's going on now, and then end up succeeding. I don't want to see another giant layoff where people lose jobs. So hopefully this is a good change. We'll see. Time will tell. We'll start wrapping this video up, my friends. If you haven't seen the merch store yet, take a look in the description if you would like. It's a Teespring store. Very easy to access, easy to order from. We've got multiple colors for these products. Nice and straightforward. And I got some shout outs for the wonderful people who helped promote the last video regarding Sean Schemmel and Peter Calamus. Shouts out to Spin Master Rockta, KJ Collins, Ravenwood, Codenex, Striker Red, The Lancaster Kid, Duskwolf, Cornbread Man, Anime G, Rio Mao, Drac Caprico, Deville Luke, Cameron Strife, Andrew Edwards, Lady Titania, Woman for Vic, Scala Kitty, Ollie Wooly Gamey, and 13th Honey Badger wrecked by West Nile Virus. Sharing the videos, liking the videos, commenting on the videos, all that stuff helps indeed. And if you'd like to do a bit more, of course, getting merch is a good way of doing it, as you can see right here, and as we already discussed, link in the description. And of course, Patreon is another way if you prefer that sort of approach. Patreon link in the description as well. That's it for this news update, though. Hopefully I'll be able to use my web camera tomorrow. What a pain that is. Anyways, guys, just another day, another thing to report on. I'll see you next time. Have a good one.